welcome back to another exclusive interview from Ipswich Fanzone involving both me, Ashley Simons, and fellow journalist and colleague Mark Tuxford. Mark, how are you, mate?
Yeah, good, mate. Yourself?
Yeah, not too bad, not too bad. I hope you appreciate that over the last week or so, Mark and myself have been busting our gut to bring you exclusives you would not normally get. So please do not hesitate to subscribe, like and follow, as well as share on all of our channels. We're on Twitter and Instagram. You may be watching on YouTube or listening on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Please show your encouragement by supporting the channel. Tonight, we have another Ipswich Town first team player with us to share his story so far. He joined the academy aged 7 and was playing in the under-9s from the off. This player made his debut nearly 2 years ago now. He scored his first goal for his boyhood club against Millwall in the Championship. He is part of the first team, but is not featured in League One this season due to injury. It's Jack Lankester. Jack, how are you doing, mate?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad, buddy. Not too bad.
Good.
Good. So the format of tonight's show will consist of a number of questions for both myself and Mark about an array of topics. But firstly, starting with the origin of your football career. Mark, take it away, mate.
Yeah, so first and foremost, Jack, thanks for joining us on Ipswich Fan. So first question then. So to start off with, take me through your childhood growing up and how your first interaction with football came about, whether that be going to games with your parents, obviously dad's an Ipswich fan, or watching at home on the TV. I mean, what are your early memories of the beautiful game?
I'd say my first memories are just sort of like every other kid really. It's just going out in the streets and just from as long as I can remember, whether that be with friends or with my dad or family. I know I used to play a lot with my cousins because they were so into their football, and I was just grew up around it. So I think that's sort of where my first memories were at. Were just literally at any given opportunity, I'd get a football out, and wherever it was, front room or garden, anywhere.
Yeah. So you always had a ball at your feet then?
Yeah, always. I think I must have broke anything in the house at some point when I was younger, because, like I said, at any given opportunity, I'd have a ball.
Yeah. So how often did you get to go to Ipswich games then? How long did your dad? Did he take you to a lot of games?
He did, yeah. Especially as I went through the academy, because we were always given tickets, and we used to train on a Saturday morning. So it would just be something most of the boys would do. We'd all finish training and all go together. So it was something that they sort of encouraged us to do, as well. By giving us the tickets and that. So, yeah, we sort of made it a regular thing, especially with my dad also being a fan before anyway. When he could go with me, it sort of made him more willing to go as such as well.
So the games obviously that you went to, or whether you watched them on TV or anything like that, as an Ipswich fan, I mean, who did you idolise growing up? Did you, base your game on anyone?
I'd say I wouldn't probably say I'd Ipswich footballer as well. I base my thing on I was more sort of looking at the Rooneys and that when I was growing up, and just like Henri, but then I love Messi, and I know a lot of people would say that, but just the way I've always wanted to play football, I just think he's the best out there. So I always used to watch videos on him. Even to this day, I still watch clips and stuff. So yeah, they're probably the people I probably looked at the most.
Yeah. So I think the earliest sort of glimpse that we got of you in an Ipswich shirt probably came in pre-season a couple of years ago in a game against West Ham.
Yeah.
Obviously, it was an incredibly hot day, start of pre-season, a bit like today. Am I right in thinking that you came on as a sub?
Yeah.
I mean, what was it like to feature anyway against a Premier League side? And I mean, did you have a sense that this season may be your breakthrough season to set a marker on the first team?
Yeah, it was a bit weird. Obviously, they did their pre-season before that. They went to Spain. I didn't go. I was with the 23s, and I was sort of playing the 23s fixtures. And I think only a couple of days before that West Ham game, I was playing in a pre-season game. I think it could be like Chelmsford or something like that with the 23s, and I didn't think anything of being involved in it. And then I don't know how many days it was later that I was, and I just thought I was there just to sort of, in case they needed it, with pre-season being pre-season. But no, I got a good amount of time for what I was expecting, and yeah, it was crazy because there's so many people there as well for a pre-season game, and just like you said, the opponents. There were some big names in their team, obviously playing, and it was nice to get out there again with the likes. I know Flynn, Tristan, and Doz started, and obviously I hadn't played with them for a while because they got into the first team a bit before me, and yeah, like it was nice just to get back out with them as well.
So obviously having that pre-season with kind of like the academy side with the under-23s, how different is that from the first team sort of pre-season or any kind of training sort of stuff that you do?
I think they try and make it as similar as possible, but then there is that big difference in terms of, I don't know whether it's quality or intensity. There's a difference with first team to the youth team. And I knew that straight away, but you do adapt to it. Once you start getting the first team and you're training with them more regularly, you do start to adapt. And it is a big change, but it's a change you sort of embrace because it's part and parcel of it.
Yeah. So obviously you must have impressed in training, especially with Paul Hurst being there at the time.
Yeah.
I imagine it must have been a dream come true, essentially, to make your debut for the team you grew up supporting. I mean, can you explain the feeling of what it was like to put that shirt on for the first time, especially at Portman Road in front of a large crowd?
Yeah, no, it was amazing, really. I sort of found out I was in the squad sort of not straight away because I didn't even choose my number as such. Do you know, like, so next thing you knew, they were saying you're in the squad, and I didn't, and then I was there, and there was my shirt, and it was just, yeah, it is sort of a surreal moment. Obviously, it's something all the academy years, that's what you do it for. I've always wanted to play first team football, especially at Ipswich, since I can remember. So, yeah, to go out there and play with some of my friends and obviously first team players I've watched previously, yeah. So it was massive for me.
It must be quite easy to kind of play along with your mates, you know, the likes of Dazelle and, you know,
Yeah.
that Flynn down. So has that helped you sort of come on in your game as well?
Definitely, yeah. I think it helps with not the football playing as such as well. It's like stepping into the change room, changing everything really. They're obviously there as a support as well. Although everyone sort of says about senior players that they are really good for you as well. But then obviously if you have them friends that have done that process, it makes it a lot easier for the likes of me as such.
Yeah. So obviously you're giving your debut under Paul Hurst, as we mentioned there. 2 games later, he unfortunately lost his job and was replaced by Paul Lambert, who's obviously your current manager now. I guess what we want to know is, I mean, who's been more influential for you personally on your early career, you know, to date?
Obviously, I'm really thankful for obviously Paul Hurst as well. He's the manager that gave me my chance. Like if he never gave me my chance, who knows where I'd have been now. So obviously I'm forever thankful for that. But like you said, I only had a couple of games with him, and he moved on, and we had Brian obviously for that one game which I played in, someone I've really got on with again, and then our gaffer now come in, and ever since he sort of come in, he spoke to me and sort of said what he thinks of me as a player and as a person, and we've had a good relationship since. So yeah, he's really helped me, and obviously he's helped me through the injury times as well, because it's all fine when I'm playing and fit and playing week in, week out, but then it's nice to have some support and that when you're not, and when you're just in the treatment room.
Yeah, so obviously when Hurst left, well, part of that reason was obviously Town were towards kind of League One with the relegation. I mean, that must have been hard as a young player, sort of coming through debut season, all that sort of stuff. But I mean, as a boyhood fan of the club, that, you know, feeling must have been altogether different. I mean, is it more emotion? I mean, explain to me how he was feeling.
I think it was horrible for everyone, really. Everyone involved with the club, whether that's fans, players. Yeah, I'd probably say, I don't know. I think it'd affect every player the same, really. We were all in it together, and we all suffered every game, every moment together as one. There was never anyone blaming it on someone, or it was something we grouped together and had to deal with ourselves. So obviously there's a bit of being a fan as well and seeing us in that league, but I think it affected us all really altogether.
Yeah. So obviously you touched upon just before. I mean, unfortunately, down to injury, you miss all of this campaign of the League One season. I guess it must have been a season that most of us fans had big hopes for, including me and Ash. But how frustrating has it been not to have an involvement and not be able to push on from a personal point of view, you playing for the team?
Yeah, it's obviously been horrible. Obviously, when we did move down to League One, I obviously saw it as a big opportunity for me to showcase myself. I saw it as a stage I thought I could perform even better on. But obviously, with the injury, that didn't happen. And I've mentioned it to people before. Even though I haven't been playing, I think I've developed myself as a player in a different way in terms of being mentally stronger as such, or being able to cope with difficulties that come along with the game. Because you're never going to have a career with no injury. So I've sort of, I haven't played any football, but as a person, as a footballer, I still think I have made improvements in my game, and like I'm ready now. So obviously, I'm just waiting for us to play again, and maybe I'll still have a chance to showcase what I can do in this league, when we get back to playing.
Yeah. So Jack, I'll pass you on over to Ash, who has some interesting points of his own. Ash, have you resisted the urge to trim that lockdown barnet this week, mate, or are you living on the same sort of wave that Luke Garbett gave you previously this week?
Oh, mate, I'm absolutely riding the wave, That barnet is still top notch. I'll let my mum have a go at it next week again, see if she can do any better. But Jack, I just wanted to pick up on your barnets, mate, because I've noticed you've had 5 or 6 different ones in the last year or so. I think I saw you with a headband the other day, mate. What's going on?
Yeah, look, that's why I've got a cap on. It's uncontrollable.
Are you doing a Bex kind of thing? See how many different hairstyles you can do in your footballing career? Or?
I'm personally going through the David Beckham stage myself, actually. I'm just going for the...
I think I might have to try the Wolfie soon and go silver.
Oh, yeah, give it the old Slim Shady straight over. Yeah,
no, I'm just letting it grow.
Yeah,
see what happens.
Well, we're going to see what happens, mate. What was I going to say? I've lost my train of thought. Here we go. So, Jack, let's just start with some off-topic tasks, right? You started your own clothing brand back in November 19, Millennium Apparel. Tell us a bit more about that. You do see footballers branch off into different, avenues during their spare time. Do you feel this is something that will grow with your career?
Yeah, well, that's what I'm hoping for. Obviously, it was something I took more interest in when I got injured. Sort of whether that was to do with the thought of, can you ever get an injury that stops you playing, and it was always something I wanted to do, and I thought, while I've got the time now, I'll kickstart it, and then it's obviously something I want to keep parallel with my football career, and just something to take my mind off football whenever I need to.
Yeah, so you said you were really it's an important fact that you just said there. You were quite worried that this injury could be career threatening.
I think whenever you get an injury that stops you playing, and you've never really had one that could be a long-term injury. Obviously, I missed all of this season so far. Obviously, and I then had to find out I had surgery. It was sort of anything can go wrong. You do worry. It'd be normal. It wouldn't be normal not to worry, if you know what I mean. So it was. I was like, well, why not? And in the future, anything could happen as well. And I need something else, and something I've had a passion in as well. So it was definitely sort of the right time for me to start it.
Yeah, 100% agree. And does it keep you busy then off the pitch?
Yeah, definitely. It's a nice busy as well. It's like I can come home from training, and if something else needs doing, then I don't think about, like, there's times you need to switch away from football, obviously, because we're doing it every day. So when you come home, it's a nice thing just to sit away and sort something else out. So it works quite well.
Definitely, like a welcome distraction. Completely agree. Jack, you picked Flynn Downs the Young Player of the Year in 2018-19. Some feat given how much Flynn Down has come on this year.
Yeah.
He's still 20 years old and one of Ipswich's most highly rated youngsters. You were declared fit recently. Do you think you can come back and make a real impact on the squad when you return?
Yeah, I hope to. Obviously, that's last season. Last season, obviously, when I was playing, that's what I wanted to do. Then I wanted to come in and sort of show what I can do. So long ago, some people might have forgot what I was like, but no, yeah. Obviously, when I can play again, obviously, I'll just be doing the same. I'll come in and try my best, show whatever I can do, show my talents, and obviously have a positive impact on the team.
Is it fair to say when you picked, I think you scored the goal against Millwall and actually got injured in that game, or was it the game after?
No, I got injured. Well, the last game I played was the 19th of January, which was Blackburn.
And at the time we were, yes, I remember that. Yeah, I remember that very well. To be honest, that goal you scored against Millwall was really good. And I think we have got some footage of it, so I'll try and find that and play it over this interview. But yeah, really good. And to be honest, I think everyone's not only happy for you, but relieved in a sense that we've got another youngster coming through making an impact. It can only be good for the club. Would you agree?
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, to have a great source of young players coming through is great for any club. Obviously, with Ipswich, we've got quite a few. More this season with the likes of Dobbs and Iddy. Obviously, Iddy, unfortunately, getting this injury now. But before that, even when he was on loan, he was ripping it up. And we've got a great, obviously, under-23 team as well. And a great group of lads that are coming through. And obviously, I can only expect that a club would be happy with that. So I'm sure they are. And obviously a few more of these boys will be coming through sooner.
Yeah, completely agree. As mentioned there, the impact of your peers, more notably Flynn Downs and Luke Wolford. Has it been hard seeing them progress as well as they have been since you've been injured, or are you just relishing the challenge of making up from this time?
Yeah, no, I wouldn't say I'm sort of like annoyed at it or whatever and dwell on it. Obviously, I'm not happy for them at all. Like, obviously, seeing them play so well was obviously great for me just from watching. Obviously, I want them to do well, and they have done. They've ripped it up, and it's just like made me want to, when I come back, to try and match them. Obviously, I'd never say that it's affected me in a negative way ever, because I'm just happy to see that, and I see it as somewhere that I want to get to.
Yeah, it's really good to hear, mate. A number of younger players that have come through over the last 2 years have supported Ipswich, which is good. But for you, Jack, as a supporter and more notably a player, to what extent does your dream with Ipswich stretch to? What would you say are your aspirations as a player as a whole?
I'd say as a whole, I want to get to the top. Obviously, every player says that. The higher they go, the better. It's what everyone wants to do. We wouldn't be playing football if we didn't want to get to the top.
Yeah.
And then if you're saying with Ipswich, obviously, it'd be a dream for someone like me or any of the local boys to be playing for Ipswich in the top division. That would just be the dream. But like I said, any footballer they'd be wrong to not say they want to get to the top. So that's my overall.
Would you say it's driven into you at a young age that that's where this club wants to be, or how does it work in the under 23s and below?
I'd say all below is just all about getting into that first team. I wouldn't say they drill it into you where the club should be, because the club is where it's at whenever you're coming through. So it's just all about developing you as a player, as a person, obviously making you strong enough physically, mentally, to be able to cope with first team football. And that's what it's all about. And that's why I'd say so many youngsters are part of our first team or involved, because of how they're coached and taught during the academy.
Yeah, it's brilliant to see there is a lot of youngsters that are coming through, obviously. But I've never known for this to be a problem with any of the youngsters coming through. But have you found it hard to remain grounded at all? Are there distractions that come from being an up-and-coming youngster at a club of Ipswich's stature, maybe?
I wouldn't say there's any distractions. No, I think we've got a great group of lads. So I'm sure if you started to show a bit of cockiness or arrogance or something like that and not stay grounded, someone would soon tell you. But everyone gets on, and everyone knows that you have to earn the right to be sort of that person. Obviously, people, you as a young player coming in the change room with someone like Chamber, who's played God knows how many appearances in the Football League, you can't come in and start thinking you've done it because you're playing alongside people like him and Scusi who have been there for years. So I don't think anyone really is like that. And I don't know about any other clubs, but at Ipswich for sure, you'd soon be told if you were.
Yeah, so obviously we've heard previously that you actually lived with Chambers, didn't you, for a time?
Mm-hmm.
What was that like? Because obviously, you say the 23s would have a chance to train with the first team at times, but coming into the captain's household, how do you deal with that kind of pressure as well?
So I moved in sort of when I was in the under 23, so I only knew at the start Chambo from wherever we trained with him and him just being around the training ground. And but then from whenever I moved in to when I left, us boys and him all built such a good relationship, and obviously it helped me massively because the time I was living there was that transition from that pre-season. So I was living with him when obviously I was with the 23s, and like Flynn and him and that were doing the first team bit. And so I was there when I did that transition. I was there the night before my debut. That's where I was living. So it was great to have him during that time. So with any questions, whether that was to do with playing or anything else, he was only next door and could go chat to him.
Yeah, so it's really different, I would say, on how I know it does happen at other clubs, but especially given like your transition, that you were you given that opportunity to be with Chambo, or how did it come about?
So it started with me and Brett McGavin. So we were living in Bury, and we sort of were getting trains and that, and we sort of just had the discussion if we moved to the digs, we sort of wanted to we just wanted something like different than sort of the normal digs, just because we were in Bury, so it wasn't much of a big deal. And then we sort of got on with Chamber as such, of just like speaking to him, and one the guy who sorts the digs out said Chamber wanted to do it, and Chamber was really happy to have us too. And then there was a couple more, so we all sort of all went in together. And Chamber's got more people in now, so it sort of worked out quite well for him, and it was a good system for us to get into. And I'd probably say it's better than any other digs in terms of where we are and being just more than you on your own or with one other player, because there was like 4 of us.
Yeah. Do you reckon you could see Chambo running a hotel chain anytime soon?
Sure, he might find some way of doing it.
He's no Gary Neville anyway. Let's put him in that bracket there. But let's move more on to family, mate. I know your dad, Stephen, pretty well. We've spoken a number of times at football over the last year or so. Actually, you are actually the second Lancaster I've had on this channel before. So I'll give him that title, mate. I'm sure he'll be proud of that one. He's always spoke highly of your ability and work ethic towards being influential within the squad. And you'd expect that from any father. But how important is it to have a supportive family behind you going into a career that really is a dog-eat-dog environment?
Oh, definitely. It's more of just, I wouldn't say they're there massively to try and turn you into a footballer in terms of your ability, try and teach you how to play football. It's more the other side, whether you have a good day or a bad day, you need the family around you through the good times and the bad. I've needed them more than anything through the injury. From when I first had the surgeries and I couldn't get up, couldn't walk around for a few days, and you have your mum, your dad coming in, because I live in my own house, so they were coming over and looking after me. So it's them times that you need them at the most, and obviously to have a supportive family there to do that is great help.
Yeah, I can imagine it's really important. And to be honest, given the situation that arises becoming a football, it's the huge amount of pressure, I would say. Have you felt that pressure yet as a player?
I can't say I felt like bad pressure. Obviously, I was playing in last season, playing in games that were meaning a lot in terms of result pressure and where we were in the league and that. But there wasn't so much pressure on me being a young player and and coming through, and I was getting more good praise than I was any bad praise. I had like fans and ex-players saying how well I was doing, so I was sort of feeding off the positivity rather than feeding off any pressure towards how am I going to perform. But I'd say the only pressure I sort of felt was the result and where we were in the league.
Yeah, definitely. Having only played 11 times for the first team squad, you'd expect a youngster of your own talents to come back in, but that's not necessarily true all the time. But if we look at you, Jack, as a professional, we'd say there's definitely something there that we can gain from having you in the squad. Apart from other players that have gained injuries before. But when we talk about environment, it's been a strange one for Town this season. Again, obviously, significantly more downs and ups. As a player who has been involved in the setup this season, what are your feelings towards how the season has panned out today?
We sort of, as a team at the start of the season, pre-season, we knew it wasn't going to be easy. I think there was people who probably thought we'd go and rip it up, being the team we were and the players we've got. But it's never that easy to come into a league where there's teams that have been there for a few seasons and know how to play it. And every team that plays us sees it as a big game. I think they're like coming to our stadium as such. It's a lot harder for us to adapt than people thought. But obviously, I haven't been playing. I haven't been in the change rooms on away games or anything like that. But I just know from being around the training ground, that's all I see, and obviously watching the games from the stands as such. So I couldn't really tell what it's like being playing because I haven't. But obviously I can see how we have been doing, and obviously we knew it wasn't going to be as easy as we thought. But I mean, when the league stopped, there was still a chance that we could go on a run and finish where we'd get near where we wanted to be. But as this has come to a stop now, we don't really know where everything stands. So we're just waiting for that thing to come back, and we'll approach that first game like we would any game and try and get a run going.
Do you still firmly believe that there's a chance that this season will be ended, or is it unrealistic to suggest that?
I really don't know. I think it's all up in the air. Obviously, there's in different countries there's been cancellations, obviously, all the way up to the first division, but then you've got other countries which are resuming in the next week or so. So I think it's all up in the air, really. None of us really know. We're just waiting, waiting for that text or call which says whether we're not finishing it, see you next season, or whether this is when we're coming back to training and this is what we're looking to do. So I think every player's in the same boat right now, just waiting.
Yeah. Do you think everyone's raring to go? I mean, obviously, having finished technically paused the season in March, we're now 2 months down the line. We're on a simultaneous run with a normal summer. You'd say everyone's ready to get kicking on right now. Do you think everyone's ready to go back ASAP, even if that means starting a new season?
Yeah, I think all of us want to just go and play football again. I think having something like this take it away from us so soon, like just all of a sudden, I think all of us were just a bit shocked. So I think everyone is ready to go whenever called upon, really, whether that's injured players who want to go back in and get treatment, or whether that's the boys that are going to be there for the games. Everyone's in the same boat.
Yeah, 100% agree. Jack, we're very much looking forward to your return to the first team, and I for one, think you make a huge impact going forward for Town. Personally, I'd like to thank you for coming on the channel tonight. I'm sure everyone has enjoyed this exclusive. But before you go, can you settle an in-house issue we have at the moment? Mark Beck, one of our colleagues, obviously not Mark, seems to think that Shefki Kikuchi was better. I know this may be a bit before your time, but who would you go for?
Oh, that Pro Cup. I didn't hear who you said. Who did you say?
I'll repeat it, mate. So Mark Beck, who's one of our colleagues, seems to think that Shefki Kikuchi was better than Pablo Canyago. I know this may be a bit before your time, but what do you think?
I can only say from what I remember, and I remember the standout game that I watched as a kid was against Coventry when Canyago scored at the end. So from that, I don't know. Actually, I don't know because the celebration from Shifty Coochie was.
Or the old swan dive.
I'll go Kenyago. Just from remembering that
Everyone
goal.
says Kenyago. Everyone says Kenyago. He seems to think it's Coochie. What do you reckon, Mark?
I think it was different players. That's the thing. Obviously, both strikers, but they were different players, and they were both remembered for certain things. Obviously, both cult heroes.
Yeah.
But obviously, Kenyago is with us in the Premier League. Coochie was with us in that 2004-2005 season with Darren Bent scoring goals, and then obviously come back again. And both came back actually. But yeah, different players, but obviously cult heroes. Probably could use the word legend in there potentially as well. But yeah, we'll see if Jack can become a legend as well and fit in that sort of same bracket. So yeah.
So Jack, if we're saying players are remembered for their celebrations, have you got any in mind to capture the audience?
I've got something in mind, but we'll have to wait and see if I score first.
Well, I'm sure you'll be able to get in front of goal sometime soon, mate. But look, thanks for coming on tonight. It's been a real pleasure.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Good luck for whenever the season starts up again, mate. And yeah, just take care, all right?
All right, and you look after yourself.
And you, mate. Cheers.
See you later. Bye.